Hi, my name is Peter from Fundamentals for Founders. In this video, we're going to look at in which cases it makes sense to use pay-per-click advertising. We'll do a sensitivity analysis to understand how different combinations of the cost per click of an advertisement and the website's conversion rate affect the profitability of the company. We'll then know which of these combinations have a positive ROI and therefore make sense to invest. If you're one of our readers, then you have access to the spreadsheet. Feel free to open that up now and follow along.
We're going to start out with what's basically a copy of our income statement. And in each of these columns, we're going to create a different what-if scenario, a different combination of a CPC and a conversion rate. So in particular here, we've mapped out a range of 30 cents all the way to more than $1 for the cost per click, and then created combinations for each of those values then with conversion rates ranging from 0.5% up through 3% all the way on the right here. Then below here, we've set our assumptions for other types of sales, like from organic traffic to zero, because we want to isolate just the effect that PPC advertising has on our profitability. We've kept our assumptions here about pricing and about some of our operating expenses, and just made sure that those values are all the same or calculated in the same way for each of these columns. And then at the very bottom of these calculations, then the result is our pre-tax income. And we've added a row here at the top that simply outputs that same value again so that we all have it right here close to each other. Our next step then is to create a summary table based on this data. And one way to do that is to use Excel's pivot table feature. Now, that feature requires that its input data is aligned in columns, not like in rows like we did it here. So to change that, we're going to copy this data, move over to a new clean sheet, and then say paste special. We're going to select values here and transpose, which basically rotates the data so that it's aligned in columns instead of in rows. And there we go. So we can create a pivot table based on this now. Insert pivot table, and that's it. Let me zoom in. We're ready to set up the table now. So let's say that in our columns we'd like to see the different possibilities for the conversion rate. So we're going to drag and drop that over here, and then in our rows we would like to see the values for cost per click. Drag that right over here, and then in the heart of the table we'd like to see the resulting net income. So here we go, monthly pre-tax income, and then just select ask Excel to show us the sum there. That's it. All that's left is some formatting. We'll make this into a currency, and these values here as a percentage. And we have ourselves a nice summary table. The new Excel also has a feature called conditional formatting, where makes it very easy to visually show these values relative to each other. You can zoom out a little bit. So now it becomes very obvious for which of these combinations we would start to see a positive ROI. So let's clean this up a little bit to remove the fields that we don't need. We don't need to see blanks, and we don't need these grand totals. And if you like, you can also create a chart based on this. Very simple. Just insert chart. A 3D area chart makes sense for this kind of data. We say move chart to a new sheet. give it a nicer color scheme. And now here we see very clearly where our break-even line is, basically for conversion rates above this line, as well as cost per click below these thresholds. Pay-per-click advertising could be profitable for this business. So that can be very useful when we're researching this business and thinking about setting up some tests. Rather than trying to predict exactly what our conversion rate or our cost per click will be, the experiment might be designed to simply check, well, what is the feasibility of us at least being above this line? We know we're not going to be able to accurately predict the future, but we should be able to get a sense for just how likely is it that the business would at least be profitable based on these pay-per-click advertisements.